All right, you ready for part retake 1?
Go for it,
Let's
baby.
go.
Give me a Cameron Popper retake scene. Action. Give me that. Cut round scene 2. Action. Give me one of those.
You can just do it again.
Click.
It's really okay.
Action, go.
Round. God damn it. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Common Ground Podcast, your favorite podcast where we talk about your favorite format, Popper. This is episode 37, the big 37. I am your host, Cameron Schindler, joined as always by two lovely co-hosts. I'm going to change things up a little bit. James Hippo, how are you doing, buddy?
I am doing just fine. Thank you for asking.
Always.
How are you?
I am living it day by day, just not living, but surviving, you know?
You are some combination and some subtraction of living, laughing, and loving.
Something like that. Thomas is our other co-host. Mr. Thomas Gunn, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm all right. Just chilling. And I made a lot of content yesterday. I spent most of the day working on a little YouTube video I'll hopefully have up this week. I finally put my money where my mouth is and got some reps in with Mono Blue Terror and had a great time.
So did you take the domain name? Did you make the YouTube channel already? Like take the name for
it
Common Ground?
It already exists. It's existed since like April, and some of our episodes are already there, just private, just waiting to be revealed once we actually start uploading content. But I want to have all the episode backlog stuff ready to go before we start regularly putting stuff up.
Okay,
as much as we can anyway. So, but where I'm at with our house sitting gig right now, the internet kind of sucks. So
yeah,
it's only do so much.
Yeah,
so
no, I get you.
Trying to find a place to go with good internet.
I got you. Well, today we have topics concerning Popper, as we always do, since the name of the podcast. But Thomas, this is more of your work, I would say. You put in a lot more thought in this topic than definitely I have. I can't speak for Hippo, but definitely more than me. So I'll let you introduce it.
Sure. This is just mostly just a little check-in, a little continuation. We have a lot of different things to talk about today, so we're not going to go into depth too much. But we wanted to start off with another quick reminder that we are trying to get a Popper 1K or more to happen at Energy Louisville in Louisville, Kentucky on Sunday, September 15th as part of Energy's weekend event. Our buddy Spencer, who we've mentioned on the podcast many times, has been in touch with their side events coordinator. And if we can get enough names to them, then we can get a big event going on. That'd be pretty sick. It's close enough to Nashville that I'm sure a bunch of us would go. I am planning on going. Maybe to record some coverage, some content, or to play. I'm not sure, but I know for sure I'm going to be there. And so we're trying to make it happen. So another shout out here, if you or anyone you know is in a Popper community or would be interested in playing Popper at Energy Louisville, let us know. Let's get connected. Let's make some things happen. We've been talking with some folks in Bowling Green, which is right in between us and Louisville, and working on reaching out to Louisville folks as well as the surrounding area. So, we're just trying to make it a thing. We're just trying to get more competitive Popper events going on in the States, because Europe is making us look bad. So, and South America. So come on, guys, and Japan. What everyone else is having these big Popper events except for us. So let's see if we can get our rears in gear and
we're jealous.
Show up and show out.
It's we got the big tournament organizers. We just need to pique the interest a little bit into them, poke them with the stick, which I think we're starting to do a little bit. So that'd be cool. That'd be really, really cool. Hopefully we can get a good turnout for this, like you said. Was there anything further you want to discuss on that at all?
I mean, not really, because we have so many other random little things to talk about today or this week.
Okay,
or whatever.
Cool. Just a quick little plug.
Yeah, just a quick little plug. Yeah. And
I have
maybe
a plug.
Maybe either next week or the week after we can go into depth about organizing and tournaments and local scenes and all that whatnot.
I have a plug. Episode 40, we're going to do a hot takes episode. We're going to read your hot takes aloud. So if you have any hot takes for the Popper format, preferably the popper format, go ahead and email them to us at commongroundmtgpod@gmail.com, or you could DM us, any of us, on Twitter. All that information will be in the link in the bio, our email, and our Twitter handles. If you want to message us your hot takes, we're going to compile a bunch of them and read them aloud on the pod and probably make fun of you a little bit, but all in good fun. I promise. Then, well, we should all come with our own hot take, of course, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We...
I know what Cameron's is already.
Do you?
Yeah, espresso should be legal.
Well, that's not a hot take. I think that's a cold take.
It's kind of a hot take.
No. That's super cold. I think that's so reasonable. That's ice cold take. That's negative 30 degrees Celsius.
The fact that this conversation has happened the way it has means it's a hot take.
Okay. I think that's something that would happen. That might happen eventually. I can't say would. We also got an email from a listener. They had some kind words to say, and they shared with us a cool little lizard brew. Let me pull up that little email-y poo real quick. This is... Come on. I had it and I lost it. There it is. I'm gonna... What's that word? When you paraphrase. I'm gonna paraphrase a little bit. It's really cool because they said they were newer to Magic and especially newer to Popper. And it was really cool to like see their thought process, because for someone who's like pretty new to the format and Magic, they had some like really good words and thoughts behind it. Like you can tell there's a lot of purpose put into it, which is really cool. It's an aggro deck designed to curve out with creatures that set up for each other and pressure opponents by attacking untapped mana. And they play like a bunch of lizards and stuff, but right now as a deck stands, there's not really a lizard payoff. Should I go ahead and read the whole deck aloud, or Thomas, do you want to do that?
I can read it off real quick.
Cool, you do that.
So this is from our listener Liam, and so
AKA
their
Puddles.
list, AKA Puddles, yeah. So
cool
their
nickname.
list is, I'll read it through as it's listed on Moxfield, and we'll share this link in the description as well, so y'all can check it out. So we got from several, most of the creatures are from Bloomborough. All the lizards listed here are from Bloomborough. We got 4 Agate Blade Assassins. This is the 2-mana black 1/3 that attacks. They lose a life, you gain a life. 4 Cindering Cutthroats. This is the 3-mana 3/2. It comes in with a +1/+1 counter. If they lost life this turn, you can also pay some mana to give it Menace until end of turn. 3 copies of Frilled Sparkshooter, which is a random 4-drop with abilities that Cameron called out to cover his butt with the writhing chrysalis allegations. With this set, it's 4 mana 3/3 Menace Reach, comes in with a counter if they lost life. We got 4 Ravine Raiders. It's a single black mana for a 1/1 with Menace that you can pump it up to make it bigger per end of turn. 2 Reckless Lackeys, which is the 1/2 Goblin Pirate that can turn itself into a card and a treasure down the line. And 4 copies of Steampath Charger, which is the 2-mana red 2/1 with Offspring, so it can make a 1/1 copy of itself if you cast it for 4 mana total, and it has, when it dies, it deals 1 damage to target player. So like some reasonable aggressive creatures here. The spell suite, we got 4 Deadly Disputes, 4 Lightning Bolts, 4 Mutagenic Growths, 4 Temur Battle Rage, and 3 Snuff Outs. And we're looking at just a land base of a bunch of mountain swamps and a couple of the OTJ ping lands in red-black. And then some just fine sideboard choices. Cast in the Fires, Flaring Pains, Now Spell Bombs, Smash Smithereens. Yeah, where do y'all want to start?
My initial thoughts right away were just kind of like a creature aggro deck, and like you're sticking with this lizard theme, which is pretty cool, but like there is no like lizard payoff, and so like there's no like special need to like 100% stick to lizards. But Thomas, you brought up a really cool card that was kind of cute. The what was it called?
It's called Scales of Shale. This is also from Bloomborough. It's been really impactful and limited. It's 2 and a black for an instant. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each lizard you control. Target creature gets +2/+0 and gains lifelink and indestructible until end of turn. So if you have just like a couple lizards in play, just a single mana for +2/+0 lifelink indestructible, I think is perfectly reasonable in the format. You have to do a little work to make it happen, but I think that's totally fine. Even just like even if it's just 2 mana, just protect your creature against a kill spell or something, like that's totally fine.
And What would you replace in this list with those?
Well, I would if I were looking at this list to kind of tune it to be as competitive as possible, I would be making quite a few structural changes. You said that there's really no lizard payoffs, and that's why we're mentioning Scales of Shale. The 3 and 4 drop lizards do get bigger if your opponent lost life, so that's like kind of the lizard thing in like the draft archetype for Bloomburrow. So in that way, you could say that they're kind of lizard payoffs in terms of just like getting your opponent to lose life. Except you can also do that with like your lands or lightning bolts or things like that. So it isn't specifically tied to lizards. Speaking of these 3 and 4 drops, I would probably start by cutting all of the frilled spark shooters, the 4-drop 3/3. I think it's just it's not quite enough for the mana cost given the constraints of the format. And I might potentially turn these Reckless Lackeys into something else. Liam did mention in their email that the Reckless Lackeys just being not only just early pressure to help trigger your life loss things, but also that it can turn into a card down the line helps you ideally not flood out and stuff. And that's very true. But I think you want all your creatures to be working together towards a common goal. And that's what led me to look up what are all the lizards that are legal in Pauper. And I found 3 lizards that I might be interested in trying, and I think it's, kind of personal preference, or it would require some testing to see which ones are better than the others. But the other 3 that I found were Scorch Spitter, which is a single red mana for a 1/1 that when it attacks, it deals damage to the player or planeswalker it's attacking. So that's just a nice early threat. I thought like this could just straight up replace the Reckless Lackey, just a 1 mana 1/1 on 1, and it gets in. Being a 1/1 in a world of like, Thraben Inspectors and stuff, it doesn't feel the best. So like that's a little awkward, but it also does the thing of pinging your opponent. Skitter of Lizards I think is a little less powerful, but it has the potential to come down out of nowhere and deal some damage. It's a single red mana for a 1/1 haste, and it has multi-kicker for 1 in a red, so you can make it a 3 mana 2/2 haste, a 5 mana 3/3 haste, and so on and so forth, so that can kind of scale up. And then I think the best of the bunch of the lizards that weren't included is Viashino Pyromancer, because they turned all the Viashinos into lizards. And so it's just a 1 in a red for a 2/1, and when it enters, deals 2 damage to your opponent, because there are no planeswalkers in this format. So I would like trim a couple of the slightly less impressive or maybe clunkier lizards, and maybe get a couple Scorch Spitters and some Pyromancers in here. And then for the Scales of Shale, I think I'd trim or completely cut the Teamer Battle Rages. They're pretty nice that your Cindering Cutthroats kind of come in as a 4/3, so it already turns on the Teamer Battle Rage. But you're already playing things like Mutagenic Growth and stuff like that, so I don't think you're really gonna miss the Teamer Battle Rage. And plus, in a world where, however, Scales of Shale and Teamer Battle Rage actually do kind of play nicely together, because if you go to like Teamer Battle Rage your guy, and then they attempt to, cast down cast down,
yeah,
or
you have
something,
that indestructible
then you have the
trick.
Scales of Shale to protect. So maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself.
4 is a lot for that effect, though. Like normally, like even
Yeah.
in like, the later versions of Grixis Death Shadow or Death Shadow, when they played the Teamer Battle Rage, I wasn't around
In
for
modern,
like the full
yeah.
force of it. Yeah, I in my era, I didn't see people playing like 4 of them. I would see it as like a 1 or 2 of, because that's just like a lot to go all in on at a time.
Yeah, they weren't casting Become Immense Teamer Battle Rage. They were just like, every once in a while we'll kill with a Teamer Battle Rage and just like play Fatal Push and Thoughtseize. Yeah.
Still like the aggressive, like for 4-drop the 4-drop, I was thinking about the 4 mana 5/2 trample that when it enters the battlefield become a monarch if you need some like card advantage still. I feel like that's a reasonable card. I thought of this is a really weird card, but I had it pulled up. There it is. Raid Bombardment. It's 2 in a red for an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control power 2 or less attacks, Raid Bombardment deals 1 damage to defending player. And I just feel like this would work better for like more of a go wide strategy, you know what I mean? Not necessarily a like, because this kind of goes wide-ish, not super wide, but being 3 mana is a little tricky too, so I don't, like, my mind started going there and kind of went away, and I just kind of thought, I'm like, man, we don't really have like Pauper doesn't have like a ton of tribal payout, especially for lizards, you know. And like with this tribe, it kind of seems like they were all leaning toward, it's kind of interesting, they're leaning towards the theme of like life loss in this, and like there are some uncommons and rares in the set that I care more about whenever an opponent lose life and stuff. So maybe there's some stuff down that rabbit hole. What's up, Hippo?
So on that thought, actually, that reading a couple of these cards in this list where they care about the loss of life and stuff like that, that actually reminds me of an older mechanic that already exists. It's called Bloodthirst.
Ooh, yeah.
So this is going to kind of veer away from the lizard part of this, but it does lean into some pretty aggressive cards that already do exist. And there was one specific one that had caught my eye because it is a 2-drop. This also requires us to put in some additional colors. But the idea is, for those who don't know what Bloodthirst is if an opponent was dealt damage this turn, this creature will enter the battlefield with X number of counters on it, or whatever the Bloodthirst number is. And the card that really caught my eye was Scab-Clan Mauler. So for it's green-red for a 1/1, but has Bloodthirst 2 and Trample. So it comes in as a 3/3 with Trample, like on its own. That's pretty good. And another card that does actually have some Pauper pedigree that does have Bloodthirst is the card. One second, I gotta find it again. It was played in the green Stompy deck. Where is it? Oh, sorry. Skargan Pitskull. That's the card. So for a single green, it has Bloodthirst 1, and then it says creatures with power less than it cannot block it. Again, I know this is like adding a whole color. We're kind of moving off of the super lizard part of this, but it just kind of feeds into the same style of that we're looking for here.
Yeah.
And good thing is that some of the cards with Bloodthirst actually are lizards because they've been errated, some of the Viashino or whatever. So there's one called Burning Tree Bloodscale that is a Viashino Berserker, has Bloodthirst 1, and it costs 2 red-green, and then has a couple different abilities on it, which is pretty sweet. Is 2 in a red, and it can't be blocked this turn, or target creature can't block it this turn, and then 2 in a green, target creature must block it if able this turn. So it's kind of some cool stuff that you can get in with combat and like make some of these like Teamer Battle Rage and mutagenic growths turn into like actual removal spells, which is kind of sweet.
I just saw there's a lurking crocodile.
It's pro blue.
Yeah, well, no, it's 2 and a green
sorry,
for 2 and a green for an island walk, 2/2 Bloodthirst 1. Yeah, some of these are a little below the rate. I do like Scab-Clan Mauler though.
That's the one card.
Yeah, being the 2 mana 3/3. Because just for 2 mana, it's just like you really need, maybe you lean in harder to the Reckless Lackey, like getting in there for 1 damage on turn 1, you know. Then turn 2, you can play a 2 mana 3/3 trample, which is really cool.
Yeah, I know Thomas will probably know exactly what I'm talking about. There is a creature from Kaladesh block. It was a single black, and whenever it attacked, whenever it was tapped.
When it was tapped, yep.
It drained for 1, correct?
I think you gain a life too.
Cool, even better. So you as an actual drain. So something like that, it kind of fits into the theme of this as well. So something in that range. But yeah, there's lots of ideas that can go along with this. It's pretty sweet.
And you have it makes me think of the mechanic Spectacle as well, but I think the only really playable Pauper card in Spectacle is the Skewer the Critics.
Right.
Would agree. Yeah.
Light up the stage is uncommon. I just looked for that too. So
unfortunately,
there's a lot of stuff you can do here. But
I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. Did you say unfortunately? You have so many draw twos now.
Yeah. What do you?
I don't want to hear.
No.
You have so many draw twos. No.
He needs a 1 mana one.
More.
No.
More. I like little brew exercise like this because I think this is like a cool concept and cool idea and like gets my juices flowing. And in the kindest ways, too. This is definitely not, like, an idea that's probably capable of taking down a challenge, unless I'm super wrong. But this is, like, something fun and, like, I'd be excited to play against my friends or whatever, or bring to a locals event, you know, and just have fun with it and something like that. And it got me going down, like, the rabbit hole completely. I was looking at
Could pit this against Thomas's blue-green deck.
No, I was thinking about the Raid Bombardment enchantment, and I'm like, man, is there, like, a Naya token deck I can make with Raid Bombardment. I can go wide and then just swing with a bunch and do a bunch of triggers with the Raid Bombardment. So maybe I'll have to brew something up with that. So thank you, Liam Puddles, for the inspiration and getting our juices flowing and stuff. We'll have your deck link in the bio below. Any closing thoughts on this? I was thinking maybe this week we'd spend a little bit of extra time on said challenges just because we didn't. Last week we rambled on so long.
We did. Yeah.
I just appreciate the folks are enjoying the show and sharing that with us, and that Liam was willing to share the list with us. It's pretty sick.
Yeah. Thank you, Liam, for your submission this week. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it always brings like a huge smile to my face. Like I was working and I checked my email and I saw that. I'm like, oh, that makes me really happy.
Yeah, Cameron sent that to both of us, and it put a smile on my face. I know that.
No, it's cool.
Yeah,
it's really cool. It's just cool. Okay, should we just jump straight head first into concrete on these challenges then?
How about we go?
You guys did really well at the local monthly.
Oh, we
event.
did
what are you
play
talking
it.
about?
We did play Popper. Let me grab my piece of paper real quick. I forgot we played. We've been playing so much Popper.
Yeah.
That was aggressive. He just
so
slammed himself into the side of the table.
I hope that's the end clip. As Thomas reminded us, we played some Poppy this weekend.
I did.
Oh, as Hippo reminded. You both were kind of like, what? Yeah. That's funny. I've never heard that expression, like the Nicolas Cage, what? Until
that's not what that's from.
Who is it? Who has said it?
That's
again?
from Tim the Toolman.
Oh,
Taylor
that's who it
from
is.
Home
Sorry,
Improvement.
I get him and Nicolas Cage confused in my head.
That's Tim Allen.
They kind of look the same a little bit if you think about it.
Fair.
But I've never heard that before until Centillus came on.
What?
But we played some Popper at the Game Cave this week at our little locals.
We sure did.
Hippo, do you want to start us off with how your little tournament report to you?
Sure. So this week I decided to branch out from what I had been playing, and I honestly wish I wouldn't have, knowing what the room was. But I decided to play some Blue Red Terror this month for our local or monthly locals. And I just played the list that won the challenge this past Friday, card for card, 75 for 75. And I thought it was a good choice going into the room. Obviously, as things you will learn, did work out well for me. So round one, I played against our friend Anna. This is not the most exciting games for her. She ended up mulliganing like to 5-2 games in a row, and then just had like removal spell upon removal spell for every creature that hit the board. It was not.
That seems to be a recurring theme when you play against Anna. You're always
I feel bad.
Yeah, she mulled the 5, and I'm like, again?
Yeah, she mulled a 5-2 games in a row. I was like, she's like, I just can't like mulligan into Oblivion and have nothing.
But she was playing. You didn't mention she was playing Walls, right?
Yeah, she's playing Walls with more than 8 lands because she's a smart person.
Good.
Yeah. I feel you kind of sign up for games like that if you play Walls, though, to be like, oh, I just didn't really have a functional hand. Like I had some Walls. You know what I mean?
I mean, it was also matchup dependent tunes. Again, she ran into like my deck that had like a bunch of removal spells.
The
like
bolts and counter spells.
Yeah, it's a control deck.
Not a great
counter spells
for the Walls.
Yeah, it's counter spells for like all the cards that draw a card, or all the like Winding Way effects, and then it's got just removal spells out the wazoo. So not great on her side, unfortunately, but. So I did get that 2-0, and then I played against our friend Austin, who was playing actual Panza, and I got crushed. I did have a cool or interesting decision to make in game 2. So Austin cast the boarding party on whatever turn it was, and then he revealed an Avenging Hunter, and I had to think about this because I was like, do I want the Monarch? Because I knew I could have it next turn if I wanted it.
Yeah.
And so I let the Avenging Hunter resolve, and I let the boarding party resolve as well, and I immediately bolted the boarding party because it's just, I don't want to get domed for 6. And then the Avenging Hunter's not attacking that turn, and I have a Terror that is already in play. And so on my turn, I was able to Galvanic Blast down the Avenging Hunter and take the Monarch. However, I was immediately punished for my decision in that he was able to, in like not the next turn, but the following turn, was able to like Altasaur into a boarding party, and I'm just like, oh, that's really, really bad. So I got super punished, and there was like this board state where there's like an Altasaur with 2 counters on it, my Terror with 2 counters on it. I have two terrors in total. And he's got like double Altasaur plus a thing, and I'm just like, oh, this. So I had to like make some like interesting decisions on whether I should block plus removal spell to kill the big Altasaur and so on and so forth. So I ended up going down a path that did not lead me to victory. So Austin got me down. Again, I could have just not let the thing resolve because I had a counterspell for it, but I thought I might let the game revolve around that and be able to take advantage of it because I had Terror online already. Mm-hmm. So, but it ended up not working out. So, lesson learned: do not let the initiative resolve.
Yeah.
Turns out,
unless you're very confident about it, or like it's a little different from like mono blue side, or if you have like a Murmuring Mystic going making tokens. Because then you can like get it back fairly easy. I mean, they've got some reach creatures, but you can manage your way back from that. But outside of that, yeah.
I mean, maybe you don't counter it because you have that Murmuring Mystic. Is Murmuring Mystic a 1/5 or 1/4?
It's a 1/5.
Oh, 1/5. I was say maybe like double like breath weapon to kill everything. I'm like, wait, nope. Murmuring Mystic still survives.
It's a 1/5.
Yep.
So in the next round, I played our friend of the podcast, Spencer. Spencer was playing Red Black Madness. Game 1, his hand was kind of anemic. He didn't really have an enabler, really. So, like, good discard spell. So, he was kind of trying to have to cast his cards at face value, trying to, like, turn 3 cast an Alms of the Vein or turn 3 cast a Fiery Temper for all the, full mana value. So, I was kind of able to just take advantage of that and and once I noticed that he was doing that, like, immediately he just, like, tap 3 mana, cast, one of these spells, and I'm like, oh, I need to just turbo the heck out of a Terror and just kill him quickly, and that worked. Game 2, he actually had quite bit more efficient of a hand and was able to take advantage of it, and he got me game 2. And then game 3 was kind of he mulliganed to 5, I believe, and then he never recovered from keeping a 1-lander, and I countered a Faithless Looting, so I was like, yeah, this is really bad for him. Because it was a tap land. Because it was like tap land on 1 from him. Because I was like island go, tap land from him, ping me for 1. I played an island, say go, and then pass with counterspell up, and then he's just like Faithless Looting. I'm like, I'm gonna snap off a counterspell on this.
Yeah, that's rough.
And so yeah, he didn't play a land prior to that because otherwise he would have tried to discard some of these madness cards or whatever to cast them, but didn't have that. So I was like, this seems like a move of desperation, so I'm just going to, fire off this counterspell here, and then the game is basically over. And then I was just like, play Terror, or play Terror, play Mystic, just kind of run you down. So that puts me at 2-1 at that point, and then...
Anemic is a funny word to use for Rakdos Burn, because like when the bad draw, like when it peters out and stuff kind of like doesn't go its way, it definitely feels that way.
Yeah, it definitely seemed to be that way. Because then you're just playing bad burn spells in your deck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For really exorbitant costs.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last round, I played against the Fearsome Scion. Who was playing Boros Bully. In a really cool...
He was also 2-1?
He was also 2-1 at this point.
So Scion with a winning into... What was it, top 4?
Yeah, winning into top 4.
Winning into top 4? Let's go, Scion.
Because we were at 16 people exactly, so one more person would have gave us one more round.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So...
in a top 8.
This was really about just efficiency here. Basically, if I could get any sort of 2 for, like, not necessarily 2 for 1, but like 2 for 1 in the sense of like you've tried to cast a Kadoltha Rebirth into whatever, and I'm like, cool, I'll counterspell. This is a great exchange for me. You're down a spell and a resource, and you're down 3 bodies at that point as well. So anything I could do to make anything like that happen, I did. Game 1 was just like kind of an attrition-y thing where if he had like played, I think it was if he had like double burn spell, I was dead. But I think I tried to play and to give me the best position to attack as aggressively as I could to not let that happen. And then in game 2, we actually exchanged a ton of resources in game 2. But it ended up where I actually had a turn where I was able to slam down a Gorilla Shaman, and I quadruple Stone Rained him, which was just incredibly backbreaking.
Damn.
And then the next turn, he's like, Synthesizer, flip over something he couldn't cast, and then I Gorilla Shaman the synthesizer on my turn, made him flip over a Rally the Peasants that he still cannot cast, and that just kind of put him so far back since he's not able to gain any advantage off the synthesizer at that point. He doesn't have like 1 or 2 lands in play, and I've got a full breath of lands, and I'm able to just kind of get in there with like a Murmuring Mystic with the being very cautious of me not dying to basically top deck burn spells at that point, because if he actually has like I think he actually had a good shot to win that game. If there was a turn he was able to kick a bushwhacker, and actually would have put me to a really low life total. And if he had done that, that would have actually put him in range of any lightning bolt being or galvanic blast being lethal, like several turns down the line. It would have been really hard to see because the way the game's played out. But
it's one of those things. Hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah, it's like I could see later. I was like, man, if he had kicked that bushwhacker there, that would have been really bad for me because it does put me in lethal range of a bunch of stuff. But it didn't happen, so I was able to take that one as well. So that put me into top 4 for our monthly locals.
So you said you wish you didn't play this deck, though.
Correct.
Why?
Looking at this room,
You got top 4.
That is correct. But because I followed the exact 75 of the pilot who won the challenge the day before, they didn't have a single copy of a Blue Blast in their deck. Which
I'm noticing that now. Yeah,
I was like, whoa, this is crazy. There was an incredible amount of red decks in the room.
It was a very aggressive room. There are 3 mono red decks and 2 Rakdos Madness decks out of 16 players.
That's a fair amount, and a lot of them are the better players in the room already, and so that definitely did not give me a lot of comfort going into the room.
Yeah, plus Zion Boros Bully, so
yeah,
it's like 6 aggressive
close.
decks.
It's pretty close to an aggressive
Derek
deck.
playing Boggle, so it's a pretty aggressive room.
Yeah, it was a very aggressive room. So I got very like I was gonna say, if I could have just selected a different 75, I probably would have played mono white, knowing what the room was, but I didn't know what the room was going to be, and I was like, oh, this might be one of those more diverse months.
It was pretty diverse though too.
Yeah.
I would say that. Like there are 16 players and there are only like 2 repeat decks. Like there are 2 mono red Kadoltha decks, but there was only 1 Kadoltha deck, but 2 Goblin decks, which is kind of funny. There are 2 Ponza decks and then 2 Rakdos Madness decks.
Yeah.
Anything you would change going, like if you had to play this deck again? Would you want to add the Blue Blast? Like what would you change? Like what would you replace for the Blue Blast?
So the cool thing about this list is that it is very customizable, or at least the sideboard and all these like blue X cantrip into Oblivion decks. Is that there's lots of flexibility. Yes, if you were expecting a room with a bit more red than I was expecting, then I would add more Blue Blast to the deck and over the Red Blast, because obviously the Red Blast I did not board them in one time because I didn't need to.
Yeah, and Blue's kind of been on a downtrend anyway. In Pauper.
Yeah, I think there was only one other blue deck in the room, and it was another Terror deck.
Yeah, there was a Dimir Terror. It looked like. Yep.
So yeah, our friend Jay was playing Terror, so we were the only 2 blue decks in the room. So my Red Blast looked kind of hideous in the room.
No, there were 2 Madness decks. You could Blue Blast the Sneaky Snackers.
You could Blue Blast. I think I would rather Blue Blast. I think I'd rather Blue Blast a Fiery Temper, if you don't mind, or Galvanic Blast.
Yeah, not Blue Blast, but Red Blast.
But yeah, so you can change around like the blast if you want, depending on what kind of room you think it is. You have access to different board wipes. In this list, they were playing Breath Weapon over Fiery Cannonade because of what we talked about last week, actually, is that it actually kills all the mono red creatures instead of the Fiery Cannonade. But this list also played one of each of the blue and red initiative creatures that this deck has available, and doesn't kill your own stuff, but it's a small price to pay. I think in the matchups where you want that, you don't want the 5/2.
It does kill your initiative creatures, right?
Correct. The Breath Weapon does kill your initiative creatures.
But if you think about it, you're not going to play the initiative onto a huge board.
No. You're going to Wrath, and then you're going to clean it, or we're going to clean everything up, and then that's a follow up.
Yeah, exactly. So like there might be I think the good outweighs the bad there.
Oh no, I agree.
Yeah.
And then I did also get to play a card that I literally did not own when I walked in to play that deck that morning was a card called Swirling Sandstorm.
Okay, well, what does that do?
So for those who don't know, it's
Like
3 and a red. It's a sorcery, and it only has Threshold written on it. And the threshold is if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, this deals 5 damage to each creature without flying.
We've talked about this forever ago, and I've heard this on the Resleevables podcast before, way back in the day. It is a card that does nothing if Threshold's not turned on.
Correct. It is
That's
literally
powerful.
0 text.
Powerful.
Yeah.
That's insanity.
But it's for the like monsters decks. It's for like the walls decks, things like that, because they're actually
sick.
bigger than all your most
Terrors?
a fair amount of yes, also for terror. A fair amount of your walls creatures like survive the breath weapons, so you really want the Swirling Sandstorm. So yeah, it was. I didn't actually get to cast it unfortunately throughout the day, but I wish I would have because the card was cool. Card's actually really pretty in foil, by the way. It's an old border foil.
That's cool.
It's
That's
pretty.
cool. How much was it?
$3.50 or something like that.
Because some of the old border foil, especially Pauper playables, are very expensive. Like,
yeah, it's true.
Like go look at like the Elvish whatever, but
Priest of Titania.
Yeah, Priest of Titania. I think there's seventh. I guess that's a 7th edition thing. 7th edition like Wild Growth is insanely expensive. I know that.
That tracks.
I kind of had the thought that maybe like Dimir Terror would have been better in the room, especially if you're on the main deck. What's that Fangs card?
Unexpected Fangs card.
Unexpected Things.
So,
It's 1 in a black, instant speed, put a +1/+1 counter in a life.
So that was my debate. I was debating between those two the morning of, and I looked at the list that Kerblinski had put, or all the metagame stuff that Kerblinski had posted that morning, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna fire off Blue Red Terror because I'm in the mood for a Terror deck anyways, so this looks good enough for me. And I just copied it straight down, 75 for 75.
Yeah, it's hard to be mad when you did so well too. So
yeah, I would agree. So Cameron, how did your tournament go?
So I was one of the 2 filthy Rakdos Madness players. I guess Grixis, if you count the sneaky snackers that are absolutely uncastable. So I got there. I was debating on playing that, or the night before I'm like, should I update my Gruul Ponzo list to Gruul Monsters? And I'm like, I don't really feel like pulling everything out right now, so I just didn't do that. So I was debating between the two, and I'm like, well, I just played Ponzo, so I'm going to play Madden this time. And Austin called me on the way there, and he's like, hey, you have a 75 for me? And I'm like, yep. He's like, do I need anything? I'm like, nope. He's like, awesome. So he borrowed my Gruul Ponzo deck I played and did well with it. He top 4'd as well. I noticed when I got there, my sideboard was very much so not updated. I am still on 4 Smash to Dust, 1 Cast in the Fire.
Wow.
Wait,
Yeah.
Smash to Dust over Smash to
You
Smithereens?
mean Smash to Smithereens?
Or Smash to Dust. Smash to Smithereens, 1 Cast in the
Okay.
Fire, 3 Containment Grounds, which ended up being fine, 3 Nihil Spell Bombs, and 3 Duress. And in retrospect, the Nihil Spell Bombs are pretty good because I saw one of our buddies, Hunter, walk through the door, who is often playing some graveyard combo deck, but they were playing Infect this time.
Yeah, Hunter decided to switch it up, and as soon as he got done through the day, he's like, yep, gonna punish you people with graveyard cards next time.
And I ended up siding in like 1 Duress one time, but the one of Duress absolutely did work in one of my matchups, so it was kind of funny. But I'll start my report. I guess what I was missing, I would have liked that Black Curse for Brood Scale.
Trespasser's Curse.
Yeah, I would have liked that card for Brood Scale, but I didn't end up playing against Brood Scale, so
We had, one Brood Scale player?
I believe so, yes. So
Was it the other, the B Cameron?
yeah, yep.
Beautiful.
Yep, so all is well. And we had a Mogwarts player, which I guess is good against Mogwarts too.
Yeah, it's true.
So, all is well. Round 1, I played against Paul. They were playing the Kadolfa deck. Game 1, I lost game 1. I felt pretty good because I was playing Madness, and traditionally I think that's a pretty fair matchup in Rakdos', maybe slightly in Rakdos' favor just because you have all these life gain spells. But game 1, I didn't know what they're on, and I never saw like an Alms the Vein or a Vampire's Kiss or something, so no life gain for me, and I got crushed pretty bad. And games 2 and 3, and I had to play very defensively. Like I had to end up using like my lightning bolts and stuff to like take off like the Goblin Guy or the 3-2 with Menace once you sacrifice something. But games 2 and 3, I was a lot more aggressive, and a lot of my burn spells ended up going face. And with the life gain spells, like, you can afford to be aggressive against them, as long as they're not like blistering fast with like a Dolt to start. That tends to work out in your favor. So I got there in games 2 and 3. Round 2, I played against the Mirror. Our buddy Spencer was also playing Rakdos. The games were kind of uneventful. Game 1, I just had a lot more gas than he did. Like, I had more pressure, I had more gas, and I feel like I was just churning through my library. And, like, he gained some life and stuff. Like, we gained some life back and forth. But, like, at the end of this gaining life shenanigans, like, I had a couple creatures on the board and had more cards in hand, so that just worked out in my favor. And game 2, he mulled the 5, and he did have, like, the turn 3 that Madness wants, where he did Faithless Looting, discard Alms the Vein, and Fiery Temper to hit me for 6 and him gain 3. But it still just broke out my favor because, again, I think I just had more cards, more creatures. In the Mirror, you don't really want to... You got to do what you got to do. If you don't have any lands, you got to go to 5. But I feel like mulliganing's pretty punishing in the Mirror. Oh, sorry, Hippo. I thought your mouth was open, ready to say something.
That made me think of something that did happen in my match against Spencer that I want to talk about later.
Okay. Do you want to butt in real quick?
Yeah, so I actually had this
So
I actually had this really cool interaction that did come up in my match against Spencer, in that he went to cast a Galvanic for the full 4, and I have a Gorilla Shaman on the board, and he has Great Furnace and a Blood Token, and I'm able to pick off both of them to make it only 2 damage instead. So he's so I was like, well, he's like, well, cast the Galvanic. I'm like, I'll respond. I'll attempt to blow up your Great Furnace. He goes, I'll do something with it. And I was like, I'll respond to that, and then I'll blow up your Blood Token. So because that was supposed to have put my life total from 15 to 11, but it only put me to 13 instead. And I thought that was pretty funny.
That is heat.
That's sick.
Sideboarding against him, I think I ended up taking out all 4 Voldaren Epicures and 2 Sneaky Snackers. It might have been 3 and 3. I can't quite remember. That tends to be a common theme. It's usually the Snackers and the Epicures are going first, just because, like, if they breathe in Graveyard Hate against you, it's just so not good.
Yeah, those Sneaky Snackers are literally blank pieces of cardboard.
Yeah, and then if they bring in the hate, then the Graveyard Hate turns out to be not that good against me, and maybe they keep the Relic up because they think it's going to do something. But I just brought in the 4 Smash Smithereens, the 1 Cast in the Fire, and the 1 Gorilla Shaman just to snipe some lands and all that fun stuff. And I didn't bother with Nihil Spell Bombs because I figured most people in the Mirror probably board out some number of Sneaky Snackers. It's funny because I played the Mirror before, and like I think I kept in 2 Sneaky Snackers, and they ended up doing a lot of work. And so it's kind of funny. So we got there into round 3. I played against Austin, who was playing my Ponza list. My notes, game 1, I have me, so I don't remember what happened. Game 2, I do. Yeah, except for I won. Woo. I probably went fast. I do remember Imp just being so good, like, this whole day. Like, I think that's the most damage I've ever gotten with Imps. Game 2, I do remember, same thing. I had like 1 or 2 Imps just doing all of this work. I think Voldaren Epicure even got in there for maybe 2 attacks, which is more than enough for Voldaren Epicure. You know that Thomas is a red player.
Oh, it's true.
Especially if Voldaren Epicure turns to a lightning bolt. But we're getting towards the end of the game. Like, he annoyed Altasaurs into boarding party, just like he did to Hippo. And he swings, and he left the boarding party back, and I don't know if it was for, like, blocks or anything, and then, like, I go to my turn, and he's like, oh, you guys, like, I just didn't swing, and I'm like, yeah, you didn't. And, like, and I could have chumped it with a Voldaren Epicure or whatever, but, so he misses that. I ended up cracking him with some damage, and then, he's at, like, 9 life, I believe. And I'm looking at a hand of, I have 3 lands, and I have 2 artifacts. I'm looking at a hand of, like, Vampire's Kiss, Galvanic Blast, Fiery Temper, and something else. And I'm just like, I cannot get this to equal 9. Like there is no way for it to work out my favor. Like I can Vampire's Kiss him, drain him for 2, and then I Gal Blast, and that's only like 6 damage, and I'm like, I die on the crackback because I'm like at 8, and he has a bunch of tackers plus a trampling Altasaur and stuff, and I'm like, this just like does not work out in my favor at all. So it was really, really close, super awkward. He did end up blowing up one of my lands that game, which actually mattered. Like if I had that one land, I could have made that lethal. The other card was Lightning Bolt, so I'm like, if I had one more land there, but that's the thing. It's Ponza. You don't have the other land.
In terms of the folks at the Game Cave, haven't got the message that the monsters deck is real good.
No, but
folks keep playing Ponza.
To be fair, that was my 75. He just played whatever I handed him. Yeah.
Yeah. By folks at the cave, you mean specifically in this instance, Cameron.
Yeah.
And Matthew Centillis, our previous guest on the podcast.
It's true, but this was Cameron's deck.
It was so funny. We us three, Hippo, Centillis, and I got dinner after the pod because Thomas is in Arizona last week. Sorry, side tangent again. And as we're leaving, I'm like, oh, dude, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't ask. Like, did you want us to, like, plug anything for you? And he's like, he starts laughing. He's like, no. He's like, actually, thanks for not asking. And so there's that. Did not want to be plugged for anything.
Nothing interesting going on.
Game 3, Austin mulligans to 5. I have that one of duress on the play. I duress him on turn 1. He has 2 lands, a Malevolent Rumble, a Annoyed Altasaur, and the 6-mana Cascade card. And I'm like, guess I'll take that Malevolent Rumble. So he has a hand of land,
2
7-drop, 6-drop.
Yeah.
And I just kind of smacked him around. Like, I think he plays a land, goes, I play a land, I contaminated ground as 1 land. And I think I end up contaminating ground as 2nd land, so it's just like he has 2 lands, and both of them do him damage. I have like an imp on board. It's just like, did not look pretty at all. So that was a very bad game 3 for him. Just kind of smacked him around. Never casted.
Casted?
What does that say? Sorry, I have a note on it. It says never casted, and then it looks like English, but it's not an English word.
It looks like the word sock.
Yeah, it does look like sock. So none of us casted sock in the matchup.
Oh, he never cast a spell.
Oh, he just never casted a spell. Yeah. He just all of game 3, he just didn't cast a spell because I just kind of
the C. This E looks like a C.
Yeah, it does.
The P looks like an O. Those L's look like a K.
So that was hard. Round 4, I get paired into friend Ian, and we just draw on the top 4 because we're both 3-0. He was playing Goblins. We played it out for fun, and man, Goblins is a lot harder for at least. I almost call myself Godolta. Goblins is a lot harder for the Rakdos burn deck just because you can't.
Well, the cool thing is they can protect their stuff with like the Sledder.
I was about to say Sledder is just bonkers, and then
so
he's playing like Lotus Petals and.
Is this like mono red like Goblin aggro or Mogwarts combo?
No, sorry, mono red Goblin aggro. So they're playing like Goblin Sledder, where you can sack a Goblin and pump a Goblin like +1/+1,
like Goblin grenades and stuff.
Like you gotta like act. Like kind of like the infect trick, you almost gotta kill stuff on your turn, sorcery speed, so they don't pump it on their turn. They're playing Lotus Petals, and they were just like they just had these really fast Godolta starts, and I'm like, this is disgusting. We just played out for fun. They like I'm on the draw, and they go like turn 1, land Lotus Petal, Godolta Rebirth. I'm like, that's not good. Tap land, go. Okay, kick Bushwhacker, swing for 8, and I'm like, that's really bad.
I know when I played Ian a couple weeks ago on Mono White, like
the Team Trios.
Yeah, the Team Trios event. Like, the fact that I was able to make them use their Sledders in like really awkward positions because all the white creatures are just bigger. Like on rate, they're just bigger creatures. They may be a little bit slower, but they're just bigger. So like making them sacrifice like these like Goblin tokens into like my 1/2s and 1/3s or whatever, or make really unprofitable blocks and like getting able to prismatic strands But the fact that I had to do all that, like I have to do all that math on me, is like makes it more difficult.
Yeah, versus if it didn't have the Goblin Sledder at all, and like you didn't have the strands, like just regular mono red just has no game there.
Yeah,
and like I know, like they showed me, I'm at like 10. They just show me a hand with got a double Goblin Grenade. I'm just like, okay, you know,
exactly.
I'm just like,
so yeah,
ow.
I like the angle that the Sledder adds. To what's because all the creatures, there's so many good 1-mana goblins now. There's so many. Like our other friend Thomas, like has also been really, really high on all these goblin cards too, in his versions of these red decks. But I really like what the Sledder does here. Really, really cool.
If we ever get a Goblin Ward at common for like 2 or 3 mana, I think like that's just gonna be the default mono red aggressive deck.
Yeah, I mean. Call it clean it. It's so clean as it is. The fact that it could possibly even get any cleaner is kind of scary if that were to happen. But yeah, no, it was a super sick day from both of us.
Yeah, very, very sick. It was weird. I kind of like sat down and I'm just like, man. And I saw I didn't even update my sideboard, so I'm just like, why am I playing this deck? Like, I feel like this deck hasn't been performing well in challenges lately. No one's really playing it, and then like it just like popper, you know. Show up with a deck, a game plan. You can do well with a hand sandwich if you got a game plan, you know. As long as you're doing the thing. If like your pet, I say it all the time, if your pet deck's not performing well, it doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad deck. Elves, like 1 or 2 people have been playing Elves, and it's had above 50% win rate for like the past 2 weeks.
It's funny because it keeps putting in like minimum 1 person in top 8 like every week.
Yeah,
it's kind of sick.
It's cool. Oh, kind of side tangent. I was talking to Austin at work, and yesterday I'm like, dude, guess how many different decks there were in all 3 challenges in top 8? There were 9 different decks in top 8 across like 3 different challenges. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. It's pretty healthy.
Speaking of, shall we move it? Unless you got any amazing questions
for Rakdos. Don't you have one more round
Manos?
to talk about in your event?
I said I drew in the top 4.
Yeah, we drew in the top 4. We split top 4.
Oh, then we split top 4.
But there's a picture of Cameron with the box. I thought that Cameron won.
That he split with Austin because Austin wasn't there to actually receive his packs.
So I took a picture of the box so it looked cool. Only half of that. Don't tell the people.
God
it's fake.
damn
It's
it.
fake. It's all
I saw that picture. I saw that picture and I was like, that
donkey. That's why I got the
That's
box.
a lie?
I have to. Oh my gosh! I have to take a picture of his box. Yeah, I'm like Mysterio.
Boo.
I'm not actually a superhero.
Okay, so it was you.
lame.
So it was the 2 of you, Austin and Ian.
Dude,
correct.
Sick.
I need that picture of the box. I need it.
That's
all I have in life.
Your little mental health.
Yeah, exactly. I need it for my mental health. It's Magic's all I have now. I need that picture of the box.
What if I needed the
What
box?
are we to you? Just friends to play Magic with.
No.
Moving on.
All right, shall we hit up
get to
these
these
challenges?
Let's hit them up. Let's go over there and be like, "What's up, challenges?"
Yo, challenges. Yo, it's been a while since we got into details with y'all. All right.
What's up?
Our first challenge on August 9th, we got 59 players. This is Friday's challenge. In 8th place, New Barola with Elves. Elves having like a little mini renaissance over the last couple weeks. That's been pretty sick. In 7th place, Captain OCL with the Glee combo. This is the Golgari version. In 6th place, Medvedev with Mono Blue Terror. In 5th place, Luffy Do Chapeau DePaula, our current reigning trophy leader, with Grixis Affinity.
Up every time.
In 4th place, Beso de Gea on Mono Blue Terror. This is the list that I based my video on, except I made a couple changes that I talk about in the video. In 3rd place, NMT SCO 94 on Jund Brood-Scale Glee combo. In 2nd place, Olavo Just MTM on Golgari Gardens. And in 1st place, the list that James copied for their monthly, it's SpockVidaLoka, the Is It Terror King themselves, with an 8-1 record in 1st place. We already kind of talked about the Is It Terror list a bunch. Is there anything in here that y'all want to go into? I kind of gave a little mono blue spiel at the beginning as well.
Nothing specific about the deck, but I was just kind of glancing over the Kerblinski, of course, the GOAT, posted matchup win rates on as well with like the meta percentages and stuff from the challenge, from the whole weekend challenges, and Is It Control had a 6-13 record against Mono Blue Terror, which is kind of like, again, not like a huge like sample size, just kind of surprised me.
I think that's probably something to do with the way that this particular sideboard is constructed. It seems like, because you don't have the blasts, like the other colored blasts available to you, that seems kind of rough.
And maybe you just want to be the aggressor, and Mono Blue can do that very well.
Yeah, Mono Blue is able to power out terrors way faster than this thing can.
So is
they also run
this
more.
list is first place list here?
Yeah, they do. They play the full. I mean, they play both Terror and Cryptic Serpent.
This first place here, is this the list that you copied?
Yeah, I copied 75 for 75.
Okay, gotcha. Cool.
Actually, I'm sorry. That's a lie. That is actually fake news. I changed one of the landscapes. I'm so sorry. I changed one of the landscapes.
Been lied to.
It's your own brew, then. You brewed
Y'all
it.
are just lying over there. You're just lying. You're both lying, left and right. What the hell?
I do like the 3 Murmuring Mystics.
Funny enough, if the second one of my landscapes had been the Grixis one instead of the Teamer one that I played, I would have been able to cycle one of them against Spencer.
Oh, that's funny.
I would have been able to cycle the Grixis one against Spencer because he did. Contaminated Ground?
Yeah,
he did contaminate ground my land.
That's
that I never tapped. I never tapped it again for mana, but I would have been able to cycle it. I was like, well, that came up. That's kind of funny.
That's actually really funny.
I do like the 3 Murmuring Mystics here, though, too. Just
on mine.
Well, Spock's.
This person.
Yes.
Yes. I wouldn't call it Hippos.
No,
this is kind of Spock's bread and butter.
Wait, I'm like, yes, correct. No, the Murmuring Mystics were great all day. Yeah,
that card is really good.
I don't know that I would touch that. I don't know that I would touch that at all. That was fantastic. That was definitely. I think that was better than Terror. Like most of the day.
I think the blue-red deck is better off thinking of it as a Murmuring Mystic deck first before you're thinking of it as a Terror deck. Which, similar to how in Mono Blue, there are often games where it's a Delver deck before it's a Terror deck. Not in like similar game plan, but like the in similar concept of like, oh, we keep calling them Terror decks, but really the Is a deck is like Control with Murmuring Mystic, and then there are also Terrors. Yeah,
this deck felt very much like this deck made me want to play the Jeskai Ephemerate deck, like something fierce. Like bad. I wanted to play Jeskai so bad. But no, this deck was sweet. I had a good time playing it. I was actually pretty impressed with the tiny energy package, for what that's worth.
Yeah, just like one tune the narrative and the galvanic discharges.
Play 4 galvanic discharge, 1 tune. That's cool. The narrative. Because it did come up, it was able to, like, my galvanic was able to kill something that a lightning bolt wasn't able to kill, so that was kind of cool.
Like you discharge something smaller on the later turn, like stock up 2 energy, then later you can hit something for 5, like a Murmuring Mystic on the other side of the battlefield.
Exactly.
A Terror.
You're able to do it faster than you would with a like a Scred. So yeah,
because I've definitely done stuff in Lightning Bolt decks where it's like I've had to like double up on a Lightning Bolt, and it's not like ideal by any means, but just like discharging something then discharging something again is just better. Like if I kill a 1/1, then my other discharge kills your Gurmag Angular.
Yeah, so that was one thing that I was impressed with. Yeah,
sweet,
cool. Anything speaking to y'all from this week's challenges at all?
One thing I do want to talk about from the elves deck, some very interesting decisions because this is my favorite deck in Pauper for what that's worth. I've not really paid a ton of attention to it leading up to this, but I did notice some cards that are some interesting decision choices that they've made. They've chosen to play 2 copies of Avenging Hunter, which is interesting. Not crazy, but interesting in any sense. The card that probably really gets me here is the 4 copies of Nyxborn Hydra. This is actually super, super sweet with your Priesta Titanias. What's
Nyxborn Hydra?
What is Nyxborn Hydra? So it's a common from MH3. So it's green and X for an 0/1, but whenever it enters the battlefield, it enters the battlefield with X counters on it and has reach and trample.
So you just
but it's also got bestow for green X, where you can still pump up any of your elves into gigantic sizes with Priesta Titania and like a combination of like Kyrian Ranger plus Priesta Titania, and you just make these things absolutely massive.
And the trample's huge.
Yeah, the trample's huge here because again, your you're able to dump so much mana into it. Especially with like if you double that up with like a Timberwatch elf as well, like that's lethal damage. That's easy lethal damage right there. So that's super sick. And there are nothing else really from them, I guess, is that
Are the 4 vines of Vastword, is that normal?
that's not normal. I think I would probably pull. I can't say that I would, or I guess it just kind of how the deck feels. I guess I personally would probably just play more of the Lead the Stampede and not worry about the Vines of the Vastwood so much. That may be the condition of playing the Nyxborn Hydra, is that you like kind of have to protect it.
Well, let me hit you with this.
So there's that too.
Brood Scale opponent casts sadistically targeting their Brood Scale.
Oh,
he finds their Brood
that's
Scale.
clever. Because there's no way that Brood Scale would board in or like actually go for duress against you.
Against elves, probably not, no.
Like Duras
I mean,
or
they could see this
Safekeepings.
game
I mean, they
one.
might have like Safekeepings or Snakeskin Veils.
But are they
like,
gonna bring in duress against the elves player?
No.
Are you kidding?
No.
Okay. So that's actually you got me there, because that's an old legacy trick that I used to play when I played. Funny enough, when I was playing against Death and Taxes as the infect player, you would prevent them from equipping their Jitte with this.
Mm-hmm.
What's hollow for in the sideboard?
Just preventable damage. So it's like stops wraths.
It prevent. Oh.
And you gain
so
life.
you
gain like a ton of life off of like if they
you gain-
breath
that's
weapon
wild.
and then you
Yeah,
gain like 16 or whatever.
Because I'm like this isn't. I mean, it's cute against a lightning bolt. It's like almost like a
it's
gain
it's there for
6,
wrath.
but,
It's also
like,
imagine
yeah.
what that would do if I were to cast like Swirling Sandstorm,
Oof.
and they're just like hollow,
That'd be sick.
gain
That's cool.
gain a bajillion life.
It's a 1 and a white for an instant.
No, it's
Prevent
just a
all
white.
damage target spell would deal this turn. You gain life equal to the damage prevented this way.
Just
Sorry,
a
I said
single
1
white, man.
white. My bad. White.
Yeah, it costs white.
So that's the problem I have.
Dub.
I say a single white. Yeah. White. A single white. No, just a white mana. It's weird to say that. But anyway,
It costs weight.
Shall we move on
costs
to
weight.
Saturday?
let's
do it.
Move it. What was, real quick, the most popular deck in the room was, for Friday, was Golgari Brood Scale at 10 copies, and it had a 51% win rate, which is fine. I thought it was interesting that the Jund version only had 4 pilots, but it had a 31% win rate, the Jund version, which is kind of wild. Like, big. That's kind of a big difference.
Yeah, I think the Golgari version is proving to be the more resilient of the two.
I think it's also the fact that you're not like messing around with the like mid-range stuff means you can go way harder in on making sure that your combo resolves.
Right. Duress
yeah, that's what I was
protection,
saying. Like, you
et
have
cetera.
all that protection and stuff main board. Look at that.
Yeah, this is pretty sick.
I was right from the beginning.
You were.
Bam.
Well, your like test version of this deck
Yeah, which is kind
was
of
like
funny.
was green black.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I know, it's just kind of funny.
yeah, it just landed that way. It's
All
pretty
right, Saturday's challenge. This is August 10th. We got 55 players. In 8th place, the Flickertron Master themselves are Clint21. In 7th place, Miskinbolic on Gruul checking. Monsters. In 6th place, Mikatara 1994 on Grixis Affinity. In 5th place, Zeofrancone, also on Grixis Affinity. In 4th place, Alienware on Gruul Monsters. In 3rd place, Hype 12232 on Jund Broodscale Glee combo. In 2nd place, Campo on Is It Terror. And in 1st place, with an 8-1 record, King Harry on Grixis Affinity. So it looks like Grixis showed up for Saturday's challenge.
Yeah, no kidding.
We've got the Kinku Artificers
really did.
in the first place list.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So this is a version of Grixis Affinity that's been running around a little bit. They're experimenting with a couple of copies of Toxin Analysis, which is from MKM.
It's just a one-sided board wipe.
Yeah.
That's the
With-
give target
with your-
creature death touch,
With
right?
your Kinku Artificers, it's just a one-sided
Yeah.
board wipe.
Gives creature death touch, lifelink, and you
That's so
investigate.
sick.
So
It one-sided board, or not even one-sided, it'll kill your creatures, too.
Well, that's what I say with the Kinku Artificer. You get to keep your lands in play. Like if you you've like suited up a land or whatever, you just get to keep them.
Yeah, that's true. Or if you just sack 6 artifacts and then
Or-
gain all that life, because it gives it lifelink, too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean you could do that, but also you could just, instead of having to sack a bunch of things, you just sack one thing instead, and it kills everything.
But like I'm imagining like which is that's amazing like against like terror or something like has that application or against like mono red, like say they have a Kadolfa and you just have this, you could sack 3 artifacts and that's 4 times 3 life. I'm not gonna do the math. Like that's awesome.
No, because each one resolves separately.
Oh, you're right. So it is only the life.
Yeah, it's really just one. It's just how many creatures are on the board.
Yeah, still it's not bad against like a red deck or something.
No,
You're
it's
right.
still great. It's still probably a gain 6 or whatever at minimum. Like a lot of the time. No,
that's cool.
No, the toxin. I do like the toxin analysis. That's kind of become like this. I guess is the standard at this point because I've noticed it in a few different lists over the last couple weeks.
A bunch of people are playing it. It's true.
And
even you're playing them in the board too. Like they're going hard in.
This brood scale deck that you mentioned here too in the top 4. It is mostly a Golgari version. It is playing 1 red card in the entire 75. It's in the main board. It's Gravatic Punch.
Gravitic?
Thank you. It is 3 red for sorcery. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target player and it has Jumpstart. So you can cast that from the graveyard by discarding a land in addition to paying its other cost and exile it after.
That's super sick.
It's just a way to finish them off and you can mill it over and it works just fine too. You don't need the it's just kind of like Molten Gatekeeper in this scenario a little bit, but it has that Jumpstart, which is nice too. So very, very similar role to the Molten Gatekeeper. It doesn't look like they have any red pips to cast it. I was trying to see how they're casting the spell.
It'll likely be off of treasures from Deadly Dispute. They have a Jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah, because I've seen some like white cards in the sideboard of Golgari before, and they're just casting it off like Chromatic Star, or in the Jund version, they cast it off Chromatic Star, but there's no Chromatic Stars in this list. So unless I'm missing the one of Mountain, I'm not seeing nothing here. So yeah, just like those ways to cast. That's wild. Yeah, I don't see a Mountain, so so you only have the Jack-o'-lantern and the Deadly Disputes to cast that spell.
Interesting.
I do like they're playing the Mesmeric Fiend. It's kind of doing that thing that the Goblin combo deck was doing, where you clear the way with that. You could sack it, and then they lose their card forever if you sack to a village right with the trigger on the stack, which is nice. Because old Magic wording. We're seeing a copy of Feral Prowler as well.
Yeah, that one was a little wild.
Yeah,
it's like, all right.
1 green, 1/3 creature cat. When it dies, draw a card. So it's just a 1/3 when it dies, draw a card. I don't see the appeal of this compared to Ichor Wellspring.
This list is also playing 4 copies of Bequeathal, which is a single green mana for an aura that says if enchanted creature is put into any graveyard, draw 2 cards. So they're really leaning into like Village Rites and Deadly Dispute. And like Bequeathal, Feral Prowler, Snarling Gorehound, just like really trying to like churn through to build up to a point where you can combo off through like 1 to 2 or more points of interaction.
I just don't see the appeal of Bequeathal, that enchantment versus like Village Rites, because you can't do the Mesmeric Fiend trick with it. Like versus if you just had 4 copies of Village Rites.
Which you do.
Oh, you also have 4?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, then even then, like,
so Village,
you're playing this enchantment.
Like if you have Bequeathal on a Feral Prowler, your Village Rites, you draw 5 cards.
Yeah, that is true, I guess. Like, I was just trying to... I've never played this deck, so the only thing I can relate it to is, like, Gardens, when you have, like, a bunch of draw spells in your hand, and then, like, you're kind of just worried about getting something to sack to it. I don't know. I'm not sold on the Bequeathal. I still think that, like, maybe cutting the Feral Prowlers for 2 Ichor Wellsprings and then just playing the regular draw suite is fine. Like, if you just play the one that makes maps, might be better, just because like the maps give you more fodder to sacrifice, and then like you really want to get rid of that Mesmeric Fiend.
I like whatever new one we got recently that has flashback, because if there's
Eviscerator's Insight.
Yeah, Eviscerator's Insight. I think that the spots where you start to go off and you don't have an outlet to combo kill them yet, but you are doing the brute scale sadistically loop and getting infinite mana.
You have infinite colorless.
Exactly. You have infinite colorless. So then you have like, that's where I think things like Chromatic Star and Ichor Wellspring really shine, where you get to just like dump them into play off of all this colorless mana and convert, like with like even something like Jack-o'-lantern. or treasures off of Deadly Dispute, but then the chromatic star effects also help you convert that colorless mana into colored mana. You can like flashback the Eviscerator's Insight, draw a couple more cards, like that's kind of the angle I would go down if I were to play this. But it's cool to see that there is a lot of innovation that I think a lot of people are still exploring.
So in the sideboard, especially a lot of these Golgari decks, I've been seeing the Salvok Life Staff. It's for 1 mana, it's an artifact enchantment, or artifact equipment, excuse me. Equipped creature gets +1/+0. Whenever equipped creature is put into the graveyard, you gain 3 life, and it has an equipped cost of 1. So is this just so good with like the spawns, just because you can put it on a spawn, make a block, if a spawn dies, you sacrifice a spawn, and you just gain 3 life, and you can pay 1, do it again. Or against like a matchup like mono red, if you don't have a payoff, the infinite life is just whatever, you'll figure it out.
Right. Yeah. On your turn, if you have the combo set up, this is just infinite life.
Like even like beside like the combo setup too, like do you think the card's like good enough without the infinite combo to like warrant a 4 of in the sideboard? Like if you're playing against mono red.
I mean, you probably bring it in because it says gain life, but this list is also playing 4 Drown in Sorrow, so those are probably your first go-to.
And 2 Sandstorms.
Mm-hmm. The Sandstorm not quite as good against Golgotha as it would have been in the past. It's still fine. It takes out all the tokens and the Bushwhacker and the Epicure, but there's still a lot of.
It gets rid of that nut draw. You know,
it stops the stupid stuff from happening.
Yeah. It stops you from dying on turn 3, which you not want to do. Any other thoughts on any other decks this week? We have a Flickertron 8th place, which is always nice to see.
It's the same pilot.
Yeah,
it's per usual.
It's the person.
Yeah, it's the person, not the deck, because that deck is... I don't understand how you play that deck currently, but, you know.
There's less land destruction spells running around. We moved away from Ponza. It's playable. Bring it back.
Sure.
That's awesome. They're doing the Lord's work.
They're doing some kind of work.
All right, shall we go to Sunday?
Yeah, I was just looking at the win percentages from... Yeah. So Golgari... Again, Golgari Brood Scale on Saturday had a 61% win rate, while the Jund version had a 36% win rate. So it's just proving that proving in quotes, but like the Golgari version is seeming to be the more resilient version. Like Hippo said, you just have all these main deck ways of protection and duress to clear the way, all that fun stuff, because you can feel safe and all of a sudden you're not safe.
It's true. Mm-hmm. All right, moving on to Sunday. This is August 11th. We got 68 players. Let's go. So much Pauper being played. In 8th place, Fingers 1991 on Grixis Affinity. In 7th place, Remelio on Glee Combo. This is the Golgari version. In 6th place, Terminus 0 on Glee Combo. It's listed as the Jund version. Take a look. Yeah, this is the version with Writhing Chrysalis. In 5th place, New Barola, another top 8 with Elves, so Elves still kicking it. In 4th place, God of Slaughter on Gruul Monsters. In 3rd place, NMT SCO94, another top 8 with Jund Glee Combo. Take a look at it real quick here. Okay, yeah, this one is also playing Chrysalis, but they've got like Eviscerator's Insight and stuff. In 2nd place, Season of Mists on Golgari Brood Scale Glee Combo. And in 1st place with a 9-1 record, and Natalino 91 on Mono Red Koldatha. I think this is the first win we've had from Koldatha in a while. And it looks pretty stock, except for they've swapped out 2 of their Chain Lightnings for 2 Goblin Grenades. And they are playing a bunch of raises in the sideboard as well, which I'm a big fan of, personally.
One card out of Terminus's list that I wanted to talk about is...
For which deck?
The sixth place Jund Glee Combo.
Thank you. There it is.
It's the card Haunted Cloak. I did not realize this card had been downshifted. I'll be real honest with you. So it's 3 mana equipment. It gives the equipped creature Vigilance, Trample, and Haste, and it's equipped for one colorless.
Whoa, that's super relevant.
That's huge. You can win either via makeshift munitions or the Haunted Cloak, because then you just make your thing
huge, and you can cast this off of all the colorless mana. Boom.
Also, you can just put this on your writhing crystals and it's not
yeah,
bad.
that's fine
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that's true. It's just one more outlet, but this outlet kind of has a backup plan too in its own.
Yeah, it's just fun. Like this works. Obviously, this doesn't work in the so well in the more black green version. But
See,
this
I
works.
like this in the Jund version.
In the Jund version, this was pretty sweet. I like this one. That's pretty cool.
I could see you still playing
Utilize the
one copy
technology.
in the Golgari version, because I think the Golgari version is trying to combo like so much faster, and they often get to a spot where they are just gonna make a giant lizard and do nothing else. So like this would actually just let you kill on the spot.
Yeah.
So my only thing with that is like, say this one has more creatures in the deck, so that's my only thing there. With it's like playing like the Writhing Chrysalis, which just gets big on its
Sure.
own. So like just having like this feeds into the like mid range game plan already. So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean you could play this in the green black one. I think that one is just way more resilient and doesn't need this. But this is just because that one just churns through so many cards.
Yeah, the Golgari version of second place, that's the more lean, normal version we're used to seeing, as opposed to the Saturday challenge. Like, you're only playing, like, the 2 creatures, the 3 Bloodrite Invokers as, like, your payoff, and then the 4 Brood Scales, of course. And you're just playing 12 artifacts that all draw you a card, you know, then 7 draw effects and stuff. Maybe I like going up in the draw effects, you're playing that many artifacts to draw you a card and stuff. But yeah, you have the 4 Malevolent Rumbles too, so just a lean, clean killing machine. It's weird, which, like, my favorite thing, not my favorite thing, I should say, about the Golgari version is, like, I guess your only way to mill over cards is Malevolent Rumble, so it's not the biggest deal in the world, but you have no way of getting back, like, the Bloodrite Invoker from the graveyard, or, like, a combo finish from the graveyard. Like, the Jund version, you can mill over the combo pieces, like the that one card that has Unearth and stuff like that, or the Jumpstart card, and you can be fine. So maybe, like, I do like, especially when you're playing 4 Chromatic Stars, 2 Wizard Rockets, 2 Energy Refractors, that Jumpstart red card seems really cool, because it's something you can mill over with the Malevolent Rumble. Maybe just as a one-of is fine.
Yeah, I can see that. I like the attention to how good apparently the Terror deck is into these Glee decks, because the second place list is playing 2 copies of Circle of Protection Blue, which obviously that's a nod to exactly Terror. There's no really any reason to play that card, so that's kind of neat.
Remember that episode we did a while back of why green's bad in Pauper? And 7 of the 8 top 8 decks are green.
Green's here, baby.
Yes.
That's wild.
So they took a kick in the pants to green with MH3.
Yeah, they did. I think it's just because of the combo, because it's like 4
Malevolent
combo
Rumble,
and
Writhing Chrysalis.
Yeah,
Malevolent
that's true.
Rumble.
That's true.
I think
That's true.
Malevolent Rumble might be the single biggest card though, because it's in all of these green
them.
decks,
Yeah.
in every single one of them.
Centillus had a good point last week when he said that this card was like definitely, like, it's not like a sleeper, as in it's like people realize it's good, but it's like I think it's still a little undervalued how good it is.
Okay, and to further add on to his point, where he said this is just Ponder. I mean, it really is. I mean, think how good Ponder is, like, on just in by itself. This is pretty close if you're just playing green. If you don't want to play blue, this is really, really close. Like, you get the mana back, you get a body out of it, you get, if you are playing cards that care about you milling over cards, this is great there. And no, I think this card's just very, very strong, and we'll be seeing it for a long time to come.
So, random thought again, though, real quick, but Spock from the winner of Friday Challenges, Is It Terror? They're like a Is It Terror mage, right? Like,
Correct.
That's their bread and butter. Yeah, you can definitely tell that people, like, they're good at what they do, because 7 people try to bring it to this challenge, and they ended with like a 35% win rate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Which is a little funny. It's just like, it's not as easy as it looks.
that is very true. That deck has more cantrips than most Terror deck, most other versions of Blue Red Terror do. Like, this is a lot of that. Like, when I sleeved this up, I was like, man, this is playing a ton of copies of Ponder. That's not normal. Most of these decks play more copies of Preordain than anything else. But the fact that this was playing more copies of Ponder was kind of crazy to me.
You got those fetches now from MH3.
With the 2,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah. No,
Plus
like
your
this one
Lorien,
too.
plus your Lorien reveals.
Yeah. I thought it was funny about this challenge too. There are 5 decks that only had 1 pilot, but all of them had a 57% win rate or better. So it's kind of funny. Like the one of pilots did really, really well this challenge, which is kind of cool. You love to see that.
Hell yeah.
Which includes Rakdos Madness. Woo!
Let's go.
Thomas, any other thoughts you have lurking in that head of yours?
Not really, besides just the Glee deck is really good. I would be remiss if I didn't think that it was right up there among the best decks in the format, and might even be like I think it might just be the best deck in the format right now, which is really weird to say with Grixis Affinity still just being consistent, but it's just so much harder to deal with in comparison to Affinity. Like, everyone's packing like half their sideboard with cards for Affinity, and I wonder if we're about to see a shift in people really either adopting the Brute Scale deck or really leaning into, okay, we need to be able to beat this Brute Scale Glee combo. Which
also, like, I've said it and I'll say it again, I think it's good to have a combo deck in like a good combo deck in the format. I maintain that again. I do wonder if that becomes enough of a problem, because its win rate consistently, like week after week after week, is like 60+%, like pretty continuous, consistently.
Or across the 3 challenges, it had a 56% win rate.
That's pretty good.
That's the best win rate of anything with 12 or more decks, like by a significant amount.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that Hippo, I think you pointed out earlier, was that like it doesn't, or no, Krablinsky did in this tweet. It looks like Glee doesn't really have like a, like, oh, this matchup is terrible.
Yeah, I did, because I checked that. I checked that earlier too, and I was wondering. I was like, did it have any deck that it just like stone cold folds to? And there's not one. Everything is like either, I think the worst that
just sub 50%.
It was like a 1 in 2 record against something or something like that.
Yeah, that was like its biggest losing thing, and like that's not.
And then there's like a bunch of like 8 and 8s or 7 and 7s and stuff like that. And I'm just like, well, that's not bad.
Yeah.
There's no slam dunk deck against this.
Yeah, and maybe it's just like 56 isn't like outrageous by any means. Like if it's like consistently doing that, yeah, maybe a little bit if it's like dominating, but it's like we'll have to see if like a bad matchup like emerges, because right now, like, it's like if someone asked me like what deck should I play to beat this, I'd be like, I don't know.
Just have a plan, I think, is really all we can say. Understand how their combos work. Because you know what I learned today when I was going through another league with Terror is if they have a sadistically...
2 sadistically?
Yeah, if they have a second sadistically, they could just put it on any other creature as long as the first one is on Brute Scale, and then they have 2 infinite creatures that you have to block. So, like, there's like, different things that I'm just, like, learning. Like, in the video that I'll post, hopefully this week, one of my losses in the league is to Brood Scale, and I messed up sequencing. I go back into the replay and walk through it, but I messed up some sequencing and targeting with a boomerang that led to my demise.
Are you saying like if they have a Brood Scale and they could just, like you said, like, were you saying like they put the sadistically on something that's not the Brood Scale and there's 2 infinite creatures?
Yeah, to that earlier point, if they have a sadistic Glee on a Brood Scale that can actively just like that with like a spawn chilling around, they can put a second Glee on any other creature and it will also grow infinitely.
Well, that's what Drew did that, and if you just have the oh wait, no, I'm being a silly goose. If you have, is it 2 sadistic Glees on a Brood Scale? Is that infinite 0/1s, I believe?
What do you mean?
Because you always, if you have...
Well, yeah. You make 2 spawns, yeah.
Yeah. And that's infinite. You make infinite 0/1s that way. You make infinite spawns if you have 2 statistics.
No, only if they're both on Brood Scales. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
not what I'm saying.
Gotcha. Yeah, no. I know.
Put it on like a plant token from a colony garden, and I was like, oh man, now I have to block this.
And then the plant token's an infinite. Yeah.
But they still just made 1 spawn a turn. But yes, if there were 2 Brood Scales with statistically, then you get infinite spawns too. Yeah.
Yep.
Sick.
Fun stuff. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening again. In a few episodes, we're going to do that hot takes episode, so send us your hottest takes over at commongroundmtgpod@gmail.com. That email is in the description below, as well as our Twitter handles if you want to twit it at us instead.
Twit it at us?
Yeah, you heard me. If you love us that much, you can leave us a 5-star review and a little review skis on Apple Podcasts, or a little comment or rooski, and we can read them live on the pod. We'll make Hippo do it. That's all I got, folks. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Bye.
We love you.
Thank you, everyone.
Sniffles. I'm sorry. Let me do a big sniffle real quick. You should leave.
Yeah,
that
get
in,
all that
100%.
Coke, baby.
Yeah, you should 100% leave that in.
Good Lord.